who need quarterbacks: Wisconsin, Nebraska, Auburn, UCLA, Alabama when Bryce rolls out, depending on what they do. Texas A&M, whether they stay with the youngster, they got a freshman that just cut his teeth this year. And quietly, and I don't even know if we mentioned them at all this year, which says a lot. Michigan State, 2 years ago, they were the bell cow. This year, they're on the back of a milk carton. Michigan State, all these guys need a frontline quarterback. Wisconsin, Nebraska, Auburn are all under new management. Wisconsin, Nebraska, Auburn, Fickle, Matt Rule, and your guy from Liberty, Hugh Freeze. So if we just play ball with these 7 schools, which one for us, if we're trying to set him up for success, makes the most sense for Spencer Sanders? Clint, I'll go with you.
Auburn. I'll ride Auburn. You watch Spencer Sanders play. I think he's and don't get too deep into the comp, but I think he's got some abilities like Malik Willis in a sense of being able to make all the throws and being able to move around a little bit. He's physical, can take some hits. You look at, I think Hugh Freeze having had success, like unbelievable amounts of success in a short period of time at Ole Miss in the SEC West. You got to feel like he's going to have more of an opportunity at Auburn to have more success. I also think you look at what he did at Liberty. If the last trip to Ole Miss wasn't enough, I think Hugh Freeze is a guy that, love him or hate him, if you can just keep him off the phone with call girls, he always does. He does more with less. Everywhere he's been, he's done more with less. That got you a little bit, didn't it, G? I mean, it's a problem now. That's a problem. Y'all know the most powerful thing in the world now. I'm telling you, untied, undefeated now.
Yeah, indeed.
You know, and you get back in that Power 5 and that big D1, and you get that ego stroked again. Now you got to look out. But look, I honestly think he's always done more with less. Even his Arkansas State days, he's done more with less, and that's rare, fellas. It's hard as hell. And it's rare. And I'll argue he's done it at 3 different universities over the last, 15 years, 10, 12 years, whatever it's been. I like Spencer Sanders at Auburn.
Trevor?
I agree there. I don't know if Spencer deserves Auburn and Hugh Freeze for all the things that you just said. This one still makes me scratch my head. And I said this on our last show, and I had a bunch of folks follow up and say, well, we're done with him. He's done with us. He's capped out at Oklahoma State. He can't do more. I disagree with that. Oklahoma State's a great place to win a lot of football games, and you didn't hoist a trophy, so you still got some meat on that bone.
Why did he leave anyway? I get the portal. Go ahead.
Well, I want to hear what you have to say, but what I don't understand is we see all these guys, the guys that we've been talking about at the beginning of the show, they had direction, they had a relationship, whether they called up to the school that they wanted to go to and it was a mutual fit, or vice versa. That all happened so quick. And so Spencer Sanders is like, screw this place, I'm out. But it's like he didn't do his homework, and he didn't decide what he wanted to do prior to. And now maybe he's calling up Hugh Freeze or vice versa, and they're like, hey, maybe we can get this thing figured out. But I just don't know if there's really good conversation. Like, I don't think that the reason it's taking so long is because he's being methodical about it. I think he's struggling through this process. And he will land somewhere. We'll see him on a field this year somewhere. I know that. He's talented enough. I just don't think this one was as well thought out as some of the ones we've discussed.
But break it down to me. Either one of you, both of you, you're a 3-year starter. You're an all-conference player. And you're not just along for the ride, you're driving the thing. Great success. A 3-year starter, you're still the starter, and you're healthy. And now you want to leave in your last year. And you are in Power 5. Grayson McCall, I get it. You did everything down there. Now you have a chance to come up. Sam Hartman, you did everything down there. You have a chance to come up to a bigger stage. Oklahoma State, it may not be a blue blood, but people know who Oklahoma State is. You don't need to find them on a map. What is it? Why would you leave a seemingly successful marriage? What are you looking for?
George, let me correct you real quick. He's a 4-year starter. He's played 4 seasons there.
4 winning seasons.
4 winning seasons.
And they put the ball in your hand. They let you put it in the air. They let you.
And it wasn't like you were. It wasn't like you were at the top of your game and you've just always been there. He's gotten better. He's developed in that offense. I remember a couple years ago, last year we were like, what Spencer Sanders are we going to get? Is he going to throw 5 picks or 5 touchdowns? The inconsistency. This finally was his year where we're like, okay, he's in the conversation with some of these big dogs because he's taking care of the football. He's making plays with his feet. He's spreading the ball around and making all the throws. And now you're like, you finally got him to the point where he's a legitimate player, from the quarterback standpoint, and he jumped ship. It makes me scratch my head.
Total speculation, guys. Total speculation. Don't know a soul in Stillwater. But being a hot-headed player back in the day, 4 years, 4 seasons is a long time to be with one head coach, offensive-minded head coach, very volatile. I don't mean that as negative as that sounds, but you know what I mean? Just with intense is a better word. Head coach. It wouldn't shock me if there wasn't some kind of falling out from either party of the way this season went. They were national championship, college football playoff, hopes. They were undefeated, and all of a sudden when they fell, boy, they fell hard. Number one, 4 years is a long time. I tried 2 years with Houston Nutt, and him and I about went to blows 2 or 3 times. Love him to death. Great dude, great coach. And it's my fault. I was very difficult to deal with. I know y'all find that hard to believe, but I was very difficult to deal with. But it could be that. Number 2, I know a major issue in college football today with this NIL is older players being underpaid relative to the freshmen and the sophomores that have come into programs under the NIL. And very well could be, hey, man, I've been a 4-year starter. Hey, man, I've won games consistently here. How are these 2 cats below me making more money? How come?
Who's paying? The school? Are you saying the school is paying him or the collective?
I'm just talking from an NIL perspective, the collectives and things of that nature. The programs control a big chunk of that. And I'm completely speculating. I'm just thinking if I were in his shoes and had started for 4 years, it would have to be something where me and a coach just can't go. We can't move forward. Like, I got 1 year left. I want to go see if I can make it work somewhere else. They're 7-5 this year. Good God, I didn't know they fell off that damn hard. 7-5 this year. I'm going to go make it work something else. I'm tired of this guy where we've got to the end of our relationship, or they've disrespected me from a money perspective that I got to bounce.
And don't get it twisted. Stillwater probably ain't the funnest place to spend 4 years in. Great college town, but when you're going and getting your 12-pack at the Piggly Wiggly and just passing through 2 stoplights any given day, that can get old when all these guys are running around, these big cities.